passion for the industry as well. Because if you lose a passion in helping the kids or the parents, you would not be able to really put your heart into finding the right fit for the child or parents. Yeah, I think that's very important too.
Well, it is hard to do things without heart.
Yes.
And there's plenty that do things without heart.
Yes.
So I can't do that. I have to
Me
like
neither.
or love what I do, at least.
Exactly.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? You're now watching Kinetic Outcome, and we are with Evelyn.
Hi, everybody.
And Evelyn is an education consultant. But we're going to get deeper to that later. I'd like to ask Ashley from the very beginning. She's from Hong Kong, by the way. And how did you get to where you are right now?
Sure. Well, basically, I was born in Hong Kong, and then I left Hong Kong when I was about 12.
You broke up with Hong Kong?
Yes.
Well, what year was that?
What year was that?
When you were 12?
Oh, my goodness.
Was it like
1995?
So you broke up with the British colony and you came back with another one. Okay, anyway, sorry for disturbing.
No worries. Anyhow, so I was in the US living with relatives because my parents wanted me to kind of, get the experience of studying abroad. But the fact that I was living with relatives, I felt that it was not really what I wanted. And there were a lot of pressure. Not that they don't love me. It just felt different, right? And so I kind of begged my parents to send me to boarding school. And they were like, okay, let's do it. And I found the perfect boarding school. When I was in the boarding school, I was so happy. I enjoyed my experience. And then I thought, if there would be a chance, I would really love to kind of continue that, whether it's with, my kids in the future or with my, family's kids, etc. So it just so happens when after university, after working, came back to Hong Kong, I had an opportunity. A family friend of mine approached me and said, hey, your alma mater is actually one of the schools that I'm doing at the moment. Would you like to kind of collab and work together? So that's kind of when it started. Yeah.
And you've been doing this for 15 years?
Yeah, 15 years.
Okay, so if we dive in depth there, you're kind of like we mentioned earlier, a recruitment consultant. But the only difference is the clients are the schools.
Yeah.
And also the people that you're placing, right?
That's right.
So you're like matchmaking as well?
Yes. So definitely.
Like if they're going to fall in love with this school and is that school gonna fall in love with them, sort of thing?
Exactly.
Okay, so how does the procedure work? You do work with Hong Kong, Macau, and you mentioned mostly Southeast Asia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, we would meet with clients, parents, and the student, to understand what their expectations are, to understand, what the child wants as well. It's very important because, placing them in the right school would give them a better stability as well. Because, sometimes parents thinks that, the child changing schools would be a good thing, so that the kids can adapt to different environments. Right? That would be maybe a better thing for the kid. But, from our perspective as a consultant, it's actually not the stability that the child would want. Because, they would build a friendship, they would build connection with the school, and then when the parents say, oh, you have to go, you have to move, all that they have to build all over again. And that's not what we want, right? Exactly. So we would really need to kind of have an in-depth conversation with both the parents and the child to see, what they want, what's the right thing for them, so that we can place them in the school that they want. And then, our aim is to be able to get them into a good university as well in the future, because that's what ultimately we want, and what the parents want, right? Yeah.
Okay. Just curious, like, what are like the top 5 options that people usually look for in terms of universities?
Oh, okay. Definitely, if in the U.S., it'd be the top 50 schools, right? Or, the top 50, not counting, Harvard, Princeton, Yale, obviously. I think then the next would be in the UK, right? And then the other option would be in Canada, like University of Toronto, McGill, Queen's, etc. And then it would be Australia. Yeah. So kind of big firms also prioritize their recruiting from that perspective as well. So that's how we kind of want to help the kids to, get into the schools that they want, get a good degree, or even master. Because in the generation now, it is very important to not just have an undergrad, also have a postgrad, right?
I'm guessing you would probably sell some of the schools in a way where this person who's so successful now came from this school.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of homework to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, when we get that student to the school and after they graduate, and for them to be successful, the school would also want their story and bring that to the kids who are currently attending to the schools, right? And see how they can benefit from that network, that connection, right? Because it is all about connections.
Always.
Always. Yeah.
Everything. I always tell this to everybody, like, get out there, meet people, build relationships.
Yeah.
Don't think about money or what you can get in return.
Yeah.
Because the money will come later when you have the relationships.
Exactly.
Because it's all about the character and who you are.
Exactly.
And your story and why you.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're constantly selling each other why us sort of
Yeah.
thing, right? Even if it's not like monetary based, it's just like, why should we be good friends? Sort of like,
Exactly.
why you for the long term? Why you for my best man, or for women like my bridesmaid, right?
Yeah.
So always.
It is important because ultimately in the real world, your education, you are selling yourself.
Always.
Always.
Your CV,
Exactly.
the interview, the phone call,
Exactly.
and in person, why you among this 100?
Yeah.
Like, because I got a friend from Goldman, he took free interviews and he was against 100 candidates and it took 1 year.
Not surprised.
So, yeah. Well, next question is this. When you got back, was this unplanned? Something that you just
wasn't
kind
really
of flowed
planned.
in?
Yeah.
What was the actual initial plan? Like you had on your mind before this happened?
Staying in Canada. Never thought that I would come back, but it was because of a phone call. My parents are in Hong Kong, and I was away for 17 years. Yeah. And they were like, "Are you ready to come back now?" And I was
Cantonese, 17年啦，
係
返嚟啦，我哋好掛住你啊。
like, exactly.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I'll be back.
You were planning to just come back and see, but
And
maybe
see.
leave again. But you ended up staying.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And it was actually quite funny that because I did grow up in Hong Kong, periodically coming back, during like summertime or whatnot, only 2 to 3 months at a time for the year, right? I still found culture shock when I came back.
Oh, you left at 95.
Yeah.
It's a huge difference. I've seen the
is.
difference.
Yeah.
And back then, what I liked about prior to 97 was there were lots of huge Christmas trees.
Yeah.
And then if you were in the Kowloon side,
Yeah.
now they call Kowloon dark side,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But actually it wasn't. It was
No.
the most popular spot, right?
Yeah.
It was before Lang Kwai Fong. I heard from my parents, because they're musicians. They
Okay.
used to play music everywhere. In the
Right.
80s, they said there were lots of people in Chim Sa Choi and Sing Tong. TST East, right?
Yeah.
So back then, like let's say from Star Ferry, and you know the middle of the road where the cars are like, there's a middle part, right?
Okay.
It's all Christmas lights until 𝙀𝙀𝙪𝙘𝙀 to 𝙀𝙀𝙪𝙀.
Yeah.
It's not like that now.
It is not.
We don't have much lights. Even Central is not really lit anymore in Christmas.
That's
And
right.
besides Christmas, Chinese New Year.
That's right. I missed that.
So what was the culture shock when you came back? Because I wouldn't know because I've adjusted slowly yearly, right?
Right. I found that, okay, to be honest, being Canadian, they're very slow, very, yes,
Hong
very
Kong is
like mellow,
yeah.
Enjoying life. You can't push them. But being back in Hong Kong, everything is like, you gotta be fast. You gotta be productive. You gotta be efficient. Everything is like, wow, bang, bang, bang. I was like, okay.
And transport as well.
Exactly. And traveling during rush hour is insane.
I don't like eating at the actual time.
Oh, yeah.
Or
that
going
too.
to work at the actual time or even going home because it's just too
Crazy.
crowded. Like I'd rather have lunch at 2 or
Me
2:30.
too.
Or if not 2, then maybe 11:45 before it gets packed.
Yep. Yeah, I think that was a big thing for me. And like, not to be mean, but I do find that, when I came back, the people in Hong Kong are generally rude.
Probably like a portion. Like
Yeah.
there's good and bad.
There
I
are
guess.
good and bad, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, not to be stereotypical or anything, but in terms of, the Canadians are always like, I'm sorry.
I heard. Because I got a friend who's thinking of migrating there.
Yeah.
So he went there for the first time with his wife. It's
Yeah.
like, man, I was on the line. I was lining up in the line, and
Yeah.
they were really nice.
Yeah.
They were talking to each other, talking to me. And it's like in Hong Kong they don't do that.
Yeah.
So I guess I got used to it. But Hong Kong is actually popular for the I'm a
Oh, yeah.
right, those chanhangs
Yeah.
or like I don't know, like the old school places.
Yeah.
That's just how they talk though.
Exactly.
Like they don't find it rude because it's probably like passed on to generations of mannerisms.
It is. But because I've been away for so long that I felt like, ooh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Well, honestly, coming back to Hong Kong, I felt that what I've learned from work, experience-wise, I really learned a lot in terms of, because I didn't get into the education field until 3 years after, because I was working for an international firm.
What industry though? Because that was actually the question earlier.
Okay.
Because you
So
became
it was,
an education consultant, but
it was service office. So basically like co-working spaces.
was that your plan?
No. No.
You didn't have a plan.
No, I
You were
didn't.
more like, I'll just figure this out.
Exactly.
And fall in love with life.
Exactly.
Okay.
See what opportunity brings.
I didn't plan this. I'm in insurance, but I hated it. I told everyone it's a scam. But I'm
You
here
did?
now. It's not a scam. Yeah, but anyway, back to you.
Yeah, and then it just so happened because of company restructuring, right? That when I was working for the Asia Pacific head team, handling operation stuff, that they decided to move the Asia Pacific team to Philippines.
Oh,
Yeah, to cut costs.
yeah.
And I was like, okay, maybe it's time for me to do something else. And that's when I got the opportunity to do education. And not knowing anything about it because my degree was marketing, right? And I was just thinking, okay, let's give it a try, right? And I do want to help my school, which is one of the schools that I work with, to help recruit, the best students for them, so that we would be able to have good network, for the schools, for the students, etc.
Cool. So next question is, how long did you stay in that last company? Because the one you're in right now is going to be 16 years, right?
Yeah.
And that's really long. So
Yeah.
you must really love it.
Yeah.
So the last one was shorter or
3.
3 years?
Yeah.
Did you ever think you would stay this long?
Well,
With the current one?
well, I mean, working with my partner, obviously I do enjoy helping parents, and I do want to see kids to, succeed, right? Because ultimately parents come to seek for help, to find guidance in finding the right school for their kids, right? And this is something that I feel that is important because, in the next generation, if they have a proper education, if it's the right fit for them, they would really enjoy the experience. I think that's very important, right? Yeah.
Okay. So in terms of like your business,
Yep.
I'm sure there's competitors as well, right?
Of course.
What makes you unique in your approach?
I would say because we're very tailor-made, and that I am proud to say that we work with the most elite schools, whether it's in the UK, US, Canada, and Australia, right? And our connections are so strong because we do have alumni, which I myself and my partner are alumni of top boarding schools as well, right? And unis. So this is what we're proud of. And I would say not all the agencies would be able to have that connection. Yeah.
So you're saying in terms of competitors, this is your razor's edge that a lot don't have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or that they wouldn't be very certain in being able to help their clients to get into those certain boarding schools, I would say. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to somebody who wants to be in your type of industry?
I would say...
Let's say they're just starting off, but what should they do within the first 2 years that will be avoiding, and what's not to miss?
Okay.
Right, so they can progress faster?
I would say first thing is you have to be able to, because education is, it is different in different countries, right? The system is different. You got to understand, the system in each country that you're sending the kids to, right? Whether it is how they're being connected from their current country, so that everything would be in the right place, so that they would be able to graduate and not miss anything, right? Sometimes I've had clients that came in seeking for help because there was a mistake of the transfer, right? That, and also because things happen in different parts of the world. You got to be able to stay on top of what's happening, and be able to to make changes. Yeah, I think that's very important, especially this year for university, right? It's been a bit tough in the US because of everything that's happening. Yeah. So we've made a lot of changes in terms of the selection of universities for the clients, right? So that they would be able to get into their first choice, right? Yeah. I
Okay.
would say that's the main thing. And passion for the industry as well. Because if you lose a passion in helping the kids or the parents, you would not be able to really put your heart into finding the right fit for that child or parent. Yeah, I think that's very important too.
Well, it is hard to do things without heart.
Yes.
And there's plenty that do things without heart.
Yes.
So I can't do that. I have to
Me
like
neither.
or love what I do, at least.
Exactly.
Same to dating or marriage. You don't want to be with somebody you're not sure of,
Exactly.
right? So
Yes.
the career path is a marriage.
It
It's a love
is.
and hate relationship.
It
It's not
is.
always going to be easy.
It is.
Through thick and thin.
Yes.
Yeah, so the next question is this. Like, let's say you're in a position of good monetary power to grow your business
Yeah.
in any way possible that you can think of and vision. How would you structure that compared to where you're at now? Like, what would change? Or is it already perfect the way it is?
Okay, I think they lack the expertise, and the quality of service is very different, very diverse, I would say. Yeah. So, and this is something that I want to bring. Obviously, when I get to expand fully in China, so that I would be able to help those who are genuinely wanting to seek a better education.
Is that the plan?
It is.
So you're working on an expansion strategy right now as we speak?
Yeah.
Okay. Because there's a lot of people from China that I'm speaking to because of the top talent pass scheme that are looking to work here or in the insurance industry. And a lot of them have decent English. Some of them can speak Cantonese, but mostly Mandarin and English. And they studied in the US, Canada, so that's a huge market because recently over 55,000 of them moved to Hong Kong to work, right?
Right, yeah.
So 55,000 students times your fee. Yeah, that's an idea.
Yep.
And that's just for like 1 year. Every year there's graduates. And
For sure.
it is a huge market anyway.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 24.7 trillion for insurance.
Wow.
Hong Kong's just 522 billion. Yeah. Okay, well, all the best to that expansion.
Thank you.
And also, what were the tough moments and also the great moments in your almost 16 years of experience?
I would say the toughest moment was when COVID hit. Parents were worried whether it'd be safe to send their kids abroad. And we, as consultants, need to make sure the procedures of each schools are in par with the government as well, right? It is very crucial for the kids to be safe, right? And it was a big deal. And it really hit us because as an education consultant, the schools trust you. They give a certain level of trust to you. However, because of COVID, everything was online, right? Even the testing, obviously interviews, they're going to be doing it themselves. They take everything back. And I was like, okay, that was tough. And I had to think, what I need to do to create a bigger database and give the parents more confidence in terms of when you send your kids abroad, it's still going to be safe because everything is going to be okay. The teachers are going to be looking after your kid, Yeah. Especially in a very tight community at school, if there's an outbreak, and it's going to be a big problem. Yeah. So.
I was actually thinking about it in a comedic way, where it's an online interview, but the students and the interviewers still need to take the test kit. And did you have a jab? No jab, no interview. But it's just video though. Yeah, that would be cool for fun, I guess. Okay. Yeah, it's not easy because even in our industry, we had to switch to online, which I didn't use. Some people used it, and it was being recorded in the first few minutes, where we have to behave in a certain way, where we have to follow the regulator exactly, or else if we made mistakes, then yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't do it. I didn't do those online closings, but some people did it, and it was so complicated. Like, that time was tough.
It was.
Shut down the gyms.
Yep.
I
Everything.
I only can jog, buy my own dumbbells. You see those scaffoldings in the street, right? When I see one, I'm so happy. Then I do pull-ups, you know, because there's no gym. So it was so bad. And then when you go out for drinks, 7 o'clock, done. Or we got really happy when it was 10, right?
Right.
But it was still bad, honestly. And then Thailand didn't really like change things even until last year. We were in Bangkok, right?
Yeah.
They closed at 4.
Yeah.
And we were all just like, why? Why? We're still out, you know?
Yeah.
So, and there's no more COVID.
That's right.
So, yeah. But anyway, we're done past that. And
I'm glad.
Hopefully the next pandemic is 100 years later. I'll be gone by then, you'll be gone by then. So, yeah. Okay, back to our topic, right?
Yeah.
So, if you had a chance to like, oh, this is a deep question. If you had a chance to go back 20 years, would you not change anything? Or would you still be doing what you're doing?
I think I would, because I feel that, you know, it is important to be able to help the next generation, or even, you know, because I really enjoyed my experience, I would like to share this experience with others. I think it's an eye-opener. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that shows the passion. So you should find her when you need to find a school for your children or child. Yeah. And this is second last question.
Sure.
It could be more than one. Doesn't have to be family, or if it is, then it is. Who do you look up to most?
I would say my late grandfather, who passed this year. And
Sorry to hear that.
no, he's had a great life. He was 107.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
I'm
long.
very, very proud of him, because, you know, back in his generation, or his way of thinking would be
1924. 1920.
Yes, that's right. Would be like, you know, if his kids have a good education, that's when it all started. My uncles and aunt, even my dad, went to really good schools, you know, local schools. And then they were also given the opportunity to study abroad as well, right? And my grandfather, who had the opportunity to work with the U.S. Army as a translator, so his English is really good. Yeah.
I thought he was probably like in those daily workouts, like 20 push-ups, 50 push-ups. Or he's a translator, but he's also translating and... Yeah.
But, and then he started, you know, his own business as well. And his business was printing, because of his passion of reading. He's taught us, you know, that's when ever since I was little, I've always had books. You know, big books, little books. I was surrounded. And my parents would read to me. I would, you know, whenever I had time, I would read. And that's something that is being passed on as well. My nieces and nephews, they love to read. Yeah. And we want to bring that to them as well, and even for next generation. Yeah.
I only started reading a lot more almost 6 years ago. Because in my type of industry, it's entrepreneurship.
Right.
It's just that you don't own the company, but you're partnered and they have everything already set. You just need to push the products out.
Right.
But it's a business. So the difference with reading is it changes your mind in a way where you can't even explain it. Your whole view of things just change.
Yeah.
Like I'm reading this book by Eric Feng. It's about related to marketing and your self-branding, right? Forgot the title. It's like literally there on my desk. I just read over 100 pages for 1 week. And then immediately I did a marketing strategy campaign for my Instagram. And I have reached almost 60,000 people.
Wow.
And I'm getting lots of follows.
Yeah.
I'm getting inquiries. It's just one book, 1 week, 100 plus pages. I haven't even finished it, but it's kind of already altering my life, right? In a good way.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I just feel that people sometimes are too focused on, I'm doing my job,
Yep.
and this is my job, and I
Yep.
have no time.
Yep.
So I just focused on my job because I earn. And if I read that book, I'm not earning money.
Yeah.
But actually, when you read more books that are made
It will
by
help.
millionaires and billionaires and trillionaires, you'll make more money.
You will.
But
Definitely.
it starts here, right?
Yeah.
And a lot think it's just find a job, just do your job, and then enjoy the weekend.
Yeah.
Get drunk, or just some drinks, happy hour, or hang out with a friend, or I don't know. It's too repetitive. Like, people make so much excuses,
Yeah.
but they can read 10 to 20 pages a day,
Okay.
which is what I do.
Yeah.
I tell everyone, I challenge them, like, I come to the office, I read 20 pages a day in 1 week, and I did over 100 pages. How
Yeah.
come you can't do it?
Yep.
But you're here every day. Oh, but then can I bring the book home? And I'm like, yeah, you bring the book home 6 months later, you're not done. Because that book I'm reading now, I left it at home for 2 months and I
Yeah.
never read it. So I brought it back to the office. Because when you're in the office, you're in work mode.
Yeah.
So you might as well read.
Agreed.
Like, sometimes I got 30 minutes, I'm waiting for a bus, 10 pages.
That's what I do too.
Yeah.
When I especially like reading when I'm on the plane, because you got nothing to do.
I watch movies more and sleep. I would get sleepy in that setting. I like office setting. It's just like I'm in grind mode. So yeah, hustle. This will change my life. But I'll try. Next time.
Yeah, you should.
Okay. Well, last question is, besides the expansion to China, anything else you're excited about for next year? It doesn't have to be business. It could be personal.
I would say I want to travel more as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any
Because
countries
it's
in
been-
mind? Like top 2?
I want to go to Tibet.
Are you going to meditate there?
Maybe.
Okay.
This is really somewhere that I've always wanted to go and explore, because there are a lot of cultural stuff that happens there, and it's a challenge as well, right? And you can't do it when you're getting old, because of the altitude and stuff. So might as well do it.
My friend Randall,
Yeah.
he's Singaporean.
Yeah.
He went to Mount Everest,
Uh-huh.
if I'm right.
Yeah.
Where you have to walk for 2 weeks at least.
Yeah.
And he cried in the process. He's like, it was so hard, but he said it felt good when he finally got to the destination,
Yeah.
although it was hard.
Yeah.
Because you're like a backpacker and like there's no way out. You're already in, so you gotta see it all the way.
That's right. And I think the next thing would be really spending more time with family. I think that's very important.
Yeah, you'll never know,
Yeah.
honestly,
Right.
about spending time with family. So, to continue. Besides family, friends too.
Yes.
Because Video Guy and I as well, we have a super close friend. We never expected it. He was just gone last year. And he's just 30. And we had another friend, which is also our friend. He was gone a few months ago. Not expected, at the age of 34. Someone last year, also unexpected, 36. Just had a heart attack while he was sleeping. So
Wow.
you'll never know.
Yeah.
So spend time.
Yes. I encourage everybody to do that. Yeah.
Cool. Well, no more questions, I guess.
Thank you.
Well, all the information I'll drop in the description box. So any interest, curiosity, contact her.
Yay.
We'll have her social media links in LinkedIn. And other than that, ladies and gentlemen, Hector, Evelyn, Kinetic Outcome. Pleasure to have you.
Thank you.